Moving to Houston? Here's the insider's track on what you need to know. Hi, I'm Carolyn, a local real estate agent right here in the West Houston area, helping people just like you relocate to our great city from all over the country. The number one question I get is, where should I move? And my answer to that really just depends on, what are you moving here for? If you're moving here for work, you're going to want to consider your commute. If you're moving here for the schools, we have top districts that we can go over. And Houston has a little bit of something for everybody. Somebody likes to live in a 3-story townhome. If you want to live in an acreage estate, we have that too. And if you want to live in a traditional residential neighborhood, all of those options are available to you. So my answer to your question on where should you be in Houston really revolves around those couple of things. The next thing you need to know is that Southern hospitality is real. When you move to Houston, Texas, people are actually nice here. If someone calls you ma'am or sir, they're not calling you old. It's actually a sign of respect. So you can expect to see people open doors for ladies, give up their seats, be polite to you, smile at the cash register. And some of that can be off-putting for our people who relocate here, but I promise you, people are genuinely friendly. I lived in New York City for an entire year and almost walked into so many doors. And it's not because I'm not capable of opening a door. It's just I didn't realize how accustomed I had become to people opening the door for me. So Southern hospitality is real. It is second nature. And that is something that people really do love about our city. Now, if somebody says, bless your heart, that maybe isn't as nice as what it sounds like. It kind of just means like a pat on the head of like, oh, too bad for you. So if you hear bless your heart, that might not be the Southern gentility that you're looking for, but for the most part, I would say people are pretty happy here. The next thing you need to know in Houston, Texas is that driving is a competitive sport. If you put on your blinker, it is perceived as a sign of weakness, so the only time that I can say that people are consistently not nice in the Southern area is going to be on the road. I say this jokingly, but you really do need to be careful. If you put on your blinker, people do take that as a sign of weakness. They will try to mow you over. People will try to pass you on the right. So make sure that you know where you're going, and if you don't, stay in the right lanes. Another thing that really surprises people when they're driving around here is that we have HOV lanes, and we also have toll lanes. And sometimes those overlap, and they're HOV or high occupancy vehicle at certain times of day, and they're toll other times no matter what. So when you move to Houston, a really big thing that you need to do is make sure that you get a toll tag, because you might find yourself on a thoroughfare that's toll only, and you don't want to get a fine unnecessarily. City pride is on full display here in Houston. I would say the number 1 and number 2 sports teams that people really get behind are going to be the Houston Astros and probably the Texans, but the Astros are a little easier to root for. Obviously, we've got 2 World Series championships to our names, which we're very proud of, and they are just really fun games to go to. So anytime from April to October, you're going to see people in the full, what do they call it, the tequila sunset colors. So you got the navy, the orange, the red, the yellow. It's a really exciting thing. The Texans perpetually make terrible decisions. Every time they recruit the wrong person, and they can't quite seem to win. Except for this last year, they did do a little bit better. But I would say city pride is on full display almost at all times. Houston Rockets are obviously a perennial favorite. Houston Cougars, people really love that. So a lot of sports teams to choose from whenever you come to the Houston area. Another thing to know is that rodeo season is its own huge Houston cultural event. It's 3 weeks, typically in March, where everybody is dressed head to toe in full Texan regalia. No one is prouder to be a Texan than they are for those 3 weeks during rodeo season. If you haven't ever attended a Houston rodeo, I would highly encourage you to come. People come from all over the state to compete, but it's got fairgrounds, it's got festivals, it's got an art show. It's a huge scholarship opportunity for kids who participate, and overall just an excellent time. So if you haven't been to the Houston Rodeo, make sure to put that on your calendar when you come to our great city. If you're a soccer fan, keep an eye out for the FIFA World Cup coming right here to Houston in 2026. Super exciting. It's going to be on the East End. That's where our soccer stadiums are that support the Houston Dynamo and the Dash. So lots of soccer options for those of you who are fans as well. And we're always excited for another major event. Another really important thing to know that people are very surprised to find is that Houston is a food capital of the United States. We have Michelin star restaurants. I think 6 of them were just named in 2024. We also have the best hole-in-the-wall food that you could ever dream of. So we have tacos are kind of like a religion around here. Tex-Mex is its own breed. There's a ton of Southern cooking, like comfort food. Crawfish season is a really big deal. And another sort of subset or major niche is Asian food. We have a huge Asian population here in Houston. So you'll see authentic Szechuan, you'll see great Thai, Vietnamese, Korean barbecue, sushi, of course. A ton of people who relocate here are very surprised to find how great the food in Houston really is. I like to joke with people that our climate doesn't really support a lot of great outdoor activities, so we got to find exciting things to do inside, which definitely includes eating. Another major reason that people consider moving to Texas is that we're an income tax-free state. Now, this is particularly important for people who are seniors or retirement age because they're starting to make withdrawals from their tax accounts, and they want to make sure that they don't get hit again with income tax. They're already going to get taxed on their income, right? And so if they can minimize the effect of that, suddenly Texas becomes a very attractive option. Now, Houston in particular is attractive to senior because people like to be close to really great healthcare as they age. And something that people may not know is that the Texas Medical Center right here in downtown Houston is the world-renowned, the biggest medical center in the entire world, right? So a lot of people say, hey, if we're going to retire, let's manage our dollars and make sure that we have as much income as possible. If we do need to have access to healthcare, this is an incredible place to be. Now, the flip side of coming to a place that has no income tax means that we do have property taxes. Property taxes is a major way that Texas derives its revenue, which means that whenever you buy a home, you have to really pay attention to what the tax rate is. Now, Texas recognizes that they shouldn't drive people out of their home because of a tax bill. So there are protections that they have, like a homestead exemption. And if you're over 65, there's a 65 and up exemption as well. So right now in 2025, that homestead exemption looks like $100,000 reduction in whatever your taxable value is. So your tax bill or your tax basis is smaller. And if you have a 65 and up exemption, it takes that exemption a little bit further from the homestead. And then it also puts a freeze on the valuation of your home for the school district. So the school district can't just tax you on a bigger and bigger and bigger basis, even if your home's taxable value does go up. So those are really important things to make sure that seniors in particular, who are usually on fixed incomes, who are managing their dollars a little bit more carefully, don't get driven out of their homes. Now, if you've Googled this, you've probably seen it. One of Texas's not so wonderful attributes is that we are not well known for our education. It's kind of embarrassing, but here we are. So nationally, according to U.S. News and World Reports, Texas falls right out at the median. We are number 25 for education across the rest of the 50 states. Now, that being said, Katy ISD is a destination school district for the entire state of Texas. So across the whole state for 2025, according to niche.com, Katy ISD was the #1 public school district in all of Texas. So when people are coming to Houston, we often hear people say that they want to live in Katy because they say in a multitude of choices that we have children, we need them to go to great schools. They will come out here specifically for that. Now, if you're coming here from another state, you might have the benefit of having 4 seasons. You might get a beautiful spring, a nice snowy winter, a gorgeous fall, a mild summer. And if you're coming to Houston, I feel like it's very important for you to know that we have 2 seasons, hot and wet. If you're looking for 4 seasons, just don't come here. So as a native Houstonian, I can tell you that I get very excited if the temperatures drop anywhere below 70 degrees. I start to get a little bit cold at that point. Anything below 60 is like a full-on like winter jacket. Like it is freezing in Houston if it is under 60. But on a more serious note, one of the things that we really like to draw people's attention to is hurricane season. So that is our wet season. So hurricane season traditionally runs from June 1st all the way through November 1st. And we do see like bigger thunderstorms that happen just throughout the course of the summer anyways. But I would say the highest risk months where I start to get that prickly feeling on the back of my neck is going to be anytime in August. So mid to late August all the way through like Labor Day, honestly, is the peak time for when we see the most hurricane activity in our area. It's really important for you to know, as someone who's relocating to this area, to be hurricane prepared. You're going to want to make sure that you have flood insurance. You're going to want to make sure that you have kind of a go bag if you need to get out of town. And this doesn't happen all the time, but it is important for you to know that it is a significant thing that all Houstonians consider every single hurricane season. If you're a lady and you haven't moved to Houston yet, then something that you need to know in particular is that you're going to have to get well acquainted with frizzies, some blow-dry cream, and your hot tools. So we are almost 100% humid all the time. So when you step outside, if your hair has any kind of texture to it, kind of looks like you stuck your finger in a socket. So if you haven't gotten acquainted with how to do your hair in humidity, I can help you out and we can chat through that as part of your move. The last thing that you need to know whenever you're moving to Houston is that y'all is its own language. When I say y'all, what I mean is either you or maybe like you and a friend. But if I see a group of like 3 people or more, I'm not going to say y'all. I'm going to say all y'all. And that is grammatically correct here in Texas. If you're thinking about moving to the West Houston area, there are tons of things just like this that I share with every client as part of their move. Yes, there's the facts and figures of the home that you're going to buy, but there's all the softer things that you really need to know when you're moving to someone else's city. I'm a real person. I'm here to help you, and I would love to take your phone call if you're considering moving to our great state. And if you found value in what you saw here today, make sure to click the link below and subscribe. We put out content like this every single week. See you soon.
This is special.